Hi, this is John with Data Coach. In this video, we're going to show you how you can use Ask Data in Tableau Server or Tableau Online. Let's get started. Ask Data is one of the coolest new features available in Tableau. Not everybody has the skill set to build a dashboard like what you see right here, where we have a map that can serve as a filter, we have different filters and calculations going on. If you're one of those people, then Ask Data might just be for you. Available in Tableau Online or Tableau Server, what you have to do is navigate to whatever data set you want to pull data from. In this case, we're going to use our leading causes of death data set. So if we click on that and enter it, you'll see we're automatically on the Ask Data tab. And Ask Data allows us to type in, more or less in English, phrases, and it will generate visualizations for us. So we can say, sum of deaths by cause, for example. And you'll see that by default, that we have a bar chart. Shows the number of deaths for each cause in our data set. So what we see here is on the left, we have a list of all of our dimensions: cause, record date, state, year ID, and then our measures, death rate, and deaths. And you can see if we hover over each of them, it gives us a little data preview. For example, cause, we can see is a string, and it has 11 unique values, and then it lists a few of the unique values right there. Likewise, for deaths, it shows the minimum and maximum values, along with the average. So what we can do is, if we hover over any of these fields, let's click on this pencil to edit that field. So in here we can see the name of the field, the type of field it is, synonyms, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then if we expand this, we can see all of the unique values for that particular field. So let's go back to synonyms. Actually, I'm going to back up even more. I'm going to say sum of deaths by cause again. And you notice that in the pop-up that shows here, deaths and cause are in bold, indicating to us that those are field names in our data set. So if I click back on the edit window for cause, well, maybe I can say, well, somebody might, instead of saying cause, maybe they'll say type. So I'll type in type in the synonyms and hit enter. And maybe they'll call it reason and hit enter. So now if I go back and I say sum of deaths instead of by cause, I say sum of deaths by reason, you'll notice that Tableau automatically will fill in cause instead of reason, because it knows when I say the word reason, I mean pull data from the cause field. So I'm going to go back to that edit window. And if I expand my unique values here, I can also add synonyms to individual values. So CLRD would be chronic lower respiratory disease. I can go down to all causes, Alzheimer's. Instead of Alzheimer's disease, I can just type in Alzheimer's. I can type in dementia. For unintentional injuries, we could do accidents. And let's do one more. For influenza and pneumonia, we'll just do flu. So now we can use all of these terms in our queries, and Tableau will know what we're talking about. One more thing to talk about when we're adding synonyms are things called reserved words and phrases. These are a list of a few dozen different words and phrases that we are not allowed to use in field names or as synonyms. These are terms like aggregate or max or sum, date, year, things like that. Because those are words that already have a set meaning in Ask Data, so we can't use them ourselves. But in any case, let's exit out of this and start writing some queries. As we've seen, we've got sum of deaths by cause, and if we click on this, like we've already seen, Tableau builds a bar chart automatically. But if we look through this, we can see that one of the causes is all causes, which is just the sum of these other 10 values. So what we can do is exclude that by typing exclude all causes. And you see right here, filter cause to exclude all causes appears. If we click on that, you'll now notice that all causes is excluded. We have our 10 individual causes, and the bar chart makes much more sense now. Another thing we can do here is on the upper right, where it says bar chart, we can click and expand that. We can turn this into a table. We can turn it into a heat map. We can turn it into a pie chart, which is not recommended, but you can. And we can turn it into a tree map. Tableau is smart enough to know what visualizations can be created based on the data that you've queried. So you'll notice that there's no scatter plot or line chart available because we don't have time series or different measures on this chart. But let's go ahead and clear everything out. Of course, we can make these more complex than simply making a bar chart. I can say top 10 states by average death rate in 2017 by accidents as a map. So that's a pretty complicated query. We'll let it think for a minute. So you can see right here, we've got top 10 states by average death rate, record date, which is our date field, in 2017, and filter cause to unintentional injuries as a map. So if we click on that, we'll now see the top 10 states in the year 2017 by the death rate of unintentional injuries. So you can see West Virginia just dominates that field. A lot of accidents in West Virginia. Again, we can show that as a bar chart, a table, a heat map, or a tree map. And so let's clear everything out again. We can, of course, show things over time. So I can say, show sum of deaths over time. And if we do that, you can see we got sum of deaths as a line chart or by record dates year. And if we click on that, we see a line chart, but we can even go more complicated. Maybe you're interested in the year-over-year difference. We can actually type in YOY difference, and Tableau knows what YOY means. It means year over year. In sum of deaths over record date. And I can click down here. And now we can see the year-over-year difference in the sum of deaths. And as we've already seen, we can update these things directly from here. But let's go back to our top 10 states to show one more thing we can do. Top 10 states by average death rate in 2017 by accidents as a map. And say that we're interested, instead of rewriting all this, we don't want to see unintentional injuries anymore. We want to see, say, Alzheimer's disease. Instead of retyping everything out, I can hover over unintentional injuries right here. And it'll show me a filter. And now I can click on Alzheimer's and unselect unintentional injuries and hit accept. So now we're seeing the top 10 states by death rate in 2017 as a map for Alzheimer's disease. And just like that, that is an overview of how we can use Tableau's Ask data in Tableau Online or Tableau Server to create visualizations on the fly using more or less natural English language. Thanks for watching.